Hey guys, it's me Kate again. So in this video, I'll be talking to you about my R Fantasy 2025 Bingo TBR, which is reathon happening from April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026 on Fantasy subreddit. So I participated a low-key in 2024/2025, but I didn't complete the so never and didn't submit to Reddit, and I'm not planning submitting this board to Reddit, so I decided to kind of ignore some of the rules. So mostly this is so just for me to be able to read more books. Not I don't like the kind of completion aspect of this. So let's go. So the first prompt is Knights and Paladins. So one of the characters has to be a knight or a paladin. And there are also hard mode for these prompts, but I don't know if any of these are able to fit the hard mode. And for Knights and Paladins, I'll be rereading La Morte de Arthur by Sir Thomas Malory. This is the Winchester manuscript from Oxford's Classics collection. Basically, this is a collection of King Arthur legends. Then we have a Hidden Gem. I believe this was a book with less than 1,000 ratings on Goodreads, but I'm not entirely sure if this counts. But for this, I'll be rereading Witch Child by Lisa Case, which is novella in Kitsune Chronicles series, in which we start with following Sebastian, who is a kitsune, which is Japanese nine-tailed fox spirit with elemental magic, and he's been around ever since something happened to him a year ago, up until now when he bumps into an alpha werewolf named Liam, who actually saved him a year ago. The next prompt is published in the 80s. I'm not sure what I'll be reading for this because I don't know which books were published in the 80s, so. Then we have High Fashion, which is to read a book where characters do some, I think, in regards to fashion. And for this, I'll be rereading Spindle by E.K. Johnston, which is equal to 1,000 Nights, also by E.K. Johnston. And these are fairy tale retelling set in the Arabian desert. And in this one specifically, we're following a group of characters who are trying to save the princess, and basically their job is to their job and their parents' jobs were related to making fabrics. So then we have Down with a System, for which the prompt is to read a book with overthrowing of some kind of system, and basically hard mode is not political system. And for this, no, I'll be rereading One Dark Window by Rachel Gilling, in which are following Elspeth, who survived in the illness that is going through this world. Basically, everyone who gets that illness either dies or gets powers, but Elspeth doesn't have any powers, but she does have a monster in her head. And one day, while going to the forest in her uncle's estate, she stumbles upon a group of highwaymen who are trying to collect the provenance cards, which are these cards which are kind of like tarot cards, but each specific card gets you specific power and stuff goes from there. And they were trying to overthrow the system. Then we have impossible places. So basically something doesn't work the way it does in our world, and for this I'll be reading Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, in which are following the Squad 312, who are a band of misfits who have to save the galaxy, or because their squad leader Tyler Jones decided to save the world, the girl out of time, Aurora. And basically, first of all, the series starts on a space station. They do have a spaceship, and basically one of the characters has a zero gravity room, and basically I decided to stretch it. So I just want to fit this. And we have a book in parts. So basically it has to have a part 1, part 2, part 3. And the hard mode for this is that book has more than 4 parts, and for this I'll be rereading with of 4 parts 1 and 2 by Brandon Sanderson, which is 4th book in the Stormlight Archive, in which are following the war between the Alethi and the Parshendi. It started when Parshendi killed the Alethi king, and stuff goes from there. I believe this has 6 parts, but I don't remember exactly. Then we have codes and pantheons. So basically a book featuring codes and pantheons. The hard mode for this is that it has multiple pantheons, but for this I'll be rereading Darker by 4 by John Seal 10, in which are following Roy, Yeran, and Nikai, and also I forgot this guy's name. But basically their stories begin when Yeran is one of the Reapers who save a girl who hasn't been born, and his boss then disappears, and we are following 18 years later, where Roy, who is the girl that was saved, and Nikai was the Reaper. Yes, Nikai is the Reaper. Nikai and Yeran worlds collide. Then we have last in the series, so I'm not sure if this is the still last in the series. I know that it was for the longest time, but let's check. Basically, it was supposed why I'm googling it, because this was supposed to be a 9-book series, but yes, this is still this apparently there was supposed to be a 3rd book published, but it doesn't seem to exist. But basically, I'll be reading Autumn Rose for this, which is by Abigail Gibbs, which is a sequel to Dinner with Vampire, in which we are following Violet Lee, who after witnessing a massacre of about 30 men gets taken by the group of guys who did that massacre, and turns out they're vampires. And in Autumn Rose we're following, I believe, Autumn Rose, yes, which is one of the background characters in the first book. And I'll read it on my Kindle. Then we have a book club or read along book. This is to have a book club of read along book from our fantasy subreddit, but I'll see what I can do for this. I still haven't. Then we have parents, so to read a book where the main character is the parent, and the hard mode is for kids to be a major part of the story, and this definitely counts. And that's Oathbringer by Ben Sanderson, parts 1 and 2, which is third book in the Soulmite archive, and basically we get perspectives from both father and the son in these books. Then we have epistolary, so basically for a book to be in diary, letters, or some other kind of format. And for this I'll be rereading Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, which is third book in the Illuminae Files series, in which are following a group of characters all somehow connected to a space colony, Kerenza 4, which was destroyed by a big space corporation. And in this one we are following one of the characters who didn't manage to evacuate when the evacuation was happening, and one of the space corporation's low-level employees. And we have published in 2025. I do have a book for mine for this, but I'm not sure if it is published already or not, so I have to check. And we have Author of Color, which is self-explanatory, and for this I'll be rereading Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I might change this one for the third book in a series, but I don't own it yet at the point of filming this. So in this one we're following Bree Matthews, who's 17, and after her mother dies she goes to this college thing for high school students, in which she gets both high school and college credits, and while there she finishes a magical attack and stuff goes from there. Then we have a small press or self-published, and for this I'll be reading The Supernatural Companions, which is a short story collection set in Hidden Legends universe. And I don't know anything about this, so that's all I can tell you. And it's by Megan Linsky and Alicia Rodis. Then we have Biopunk, and for this I know what I would be reading, but I have to check some recommendations for this. So, and then you have Elves and Dwarfs, also something I need to check the recommendations for, because I had the book in mind, but I don't think I'll be reading it anytime soon, so I have to check what I'll be reading for this. And then we have LGBTQIA plus protagonist, and for that I'll be here. And for that I'll be rereading Witchbot by Lisa Casey, which is first book in the Kitsune Chronicles. And we have to read 5 short stories, and for this I have Broken Throne by Victoria Aveyard by which is a short story collection set in with Queen Universe. And I'm not entirely sure how many short stories are in there, but I know there are at least 4. So then we have Stranger in a Strange Land. This one I already read, but I read it in the month of April, so I counted it. And that is The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England by Ben Sanderson, in which are following a guy who wakes up in the medieval England without any memories or any way to survive there, and his guidebook is destroyed. So yeah, and in the beginning of the book he doesn't even know where he is. So then we have Recycle a Bingo Square. For this I decided to use first in a series which was on one of the previous boards, and for that I'll be rereading Spellsinger by Sebastian de Castell, which is first book in the Spellsinger series, in which are following Kellen, who is just about to take his magic shots, but his magic starts failing, so he decides to cheat, and stuff goes from there. Then we have a cozy SFF, so cozy fantasy or science fiction, and for that I'll be rereading A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison, in which are following 3 sisters, Betty, Charlie, and Felice, whose family is cursed, so women of the family cannot leave the island they live on. But the middle sister, Betty, just wants to go into an adventure, so sisters decide to break the curse. And by the way, all of these books are subject to change if I find something that's better suited for the prompt. And I have a generic title, which is again a book which I slightly stretched, and I chose Captive Prince by C.S. Packet. I don't know what this is about, but I know that this is one of her more popular books. So then we have not a book, so to watch a TV show, play a video game or anything else. So we'll see what I'll use for that. And last prompt is Pirates with and for this I'll be using With These Last Breaths, which is third and final book in One Dark on this Black Sands series by Vanessa Larson, and in which are following a pirate captain who has to steal a dagger, and a girl who is fleeing for the ruling body of her town, who can help him in finding it. So yeah, this is it for this video. If you liked it, please like, share and subscribe. Down below have my social media, my email, and some other stuff, and I'll see you next one.